Video 4, make a plan to hit your goals. That's the point of a plan, isn't it? To help you hit your goal. A goal or some goals, you might have a few goals and a plan for each one. You've set some goals for yourself and your business for the next little while, the next few months, haven't you, in video 3? So you've got some goals already. My clients set a 3-year goal, a kind of vision, a 3-year vision for their business and the business they want to build. And they set a strategy to help them get there in the long term. And they also go through this process I'm going to talk about now, or the one you're involved in partway through, 3 times a year to reset their shorter term goals and make some shorter term or nearer term plans that will move them in the direction of their big vision. I'm not going to go into that now. If you want to know what that is, there's a video on my YouTube channel. It's a pinned one called Proper Business Plan, and I'll go through it in there. My YouTube channel is @SmallFishCoach. So what I'll do now is I'll stick to talking about some levers you can pull in your business if you want more money, more time and more freedom. And I'm basing that on the fact that you probably set goals in the last video that were related to getting yourself more money, more time, more freedom from your business. And if you've got other goals, then you might need to talk to me about how to get them. Now, you might have a project for each of those goals, a little project or to get you there, and a project plan. And I'm going to talk to you about the impact filter, which is how you make a little plan for the project of achieving your goals. So you've got some goals, you'll choose a project that will help you with your goal, and then you'll make a little plan for each one. And I'm going to suggest you do 2 or 3. I'm going to talk about what levers you can pull, like I said, to help you make more money, get more time and get more freedom. To get more money, and of course I mean more profit in the business, there are a few levers you can pull. You can do more work, can't you? You can get busier and do more jobs. And assuming they're profitable, that brings you more money. You can get more profit on the jobs you do. You can have bigger margins on the job you do. You can charge more, you can spend less, you can be more efficient or quicker. And you can reduce costs, you can reduce the overhead expenses in the business. Okay, so there are really 3 ways to make more money, aren't they? Get more work in, make more profit on the work you get in, and cut the costs. Less money out. To get more time, you have to do less work yourself, right? That's the only way you're going to get time back, is doing less work yourself. So there's a few things you can do there. You can delegate responsibilities away to somebody else, somebody already on your team, or a new person on your team that you hire. And I'm aware that hiring people costs money, and you need to make more money to do that. That's part of the game. You can look at how you manage yourself and your time and your efforts, and you can improve that, and you can be more efficient and effective, and you can get the same amount of work done in less time, and then you can stop working sooner and have more time to yourself. And of course you can look at where your time goes, and you can make decisions about what work you do and what work you can either not do or put away till later, right? That's less important even. And some work doesn't need doing. Some of the work you're doing is unnecessary. So maybe you'll find some of that and stop doing it. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Delegate responsibility away, be more efficient, stop doing unnecessary shit. And to get more freedom, you need other people to be able to take responsibility and make decisions without having to run them by you first, without having to check in with you, which involves successful delegating and training and systems and support. Now, none of those things are instant, are they? They're all going to require an investment of time and effort from you. I understand that. And it's up to you to make the time to invest that time and effort in doing that so you get the outcomes that you want. Now, remember, you're trying to think and behave more like a business person and less like a tradie, and this is part of that. It's making the time to make the investment in making your business better and in your people and the systems, and not staying bogged in what you're doing currently. So let's dig into the 3 of those a little bit more, see if I can suggest some projects, mini projects you can get stuck in. I'm hoping you can kind of select 1 or 2 to talk about now. So for more money, to do more work or more jobs or more projects, let's assume they're profitable and that you've got the capacity to do them, you can take them on. You need to find more jobs, which is marketing, and you need to win more of the ones you find, which is sales. You could spend money on ads for marketing, if that's the part of the industry you're in, which is business to consumer really, or business to small business, and mostly maintenance, but not only, right? Builders, pool guys, running ads works. You could invest in relationship marketing if you're in the other part of the industry. If you're in business to business, for example, you might prefer to spend your energy on relationship marketing, on making phone calls and building relationships and asking for work. So you could call more people up and ask for more work. You could work on improving your marketing and making what you're doing currently work better, bring you better leads, bring you more leads, and you could do more of it as well. Spend more money, make more calls. To win more, you could improve your sales. You know you can, right? You can do it better. You could work on your proposals or your presenting of your proposals, and you should be presenting proposals, not sending quotes. Right? You could work on your closing skills or even commit yourself to asking for the sale. I know a lot of you don't do that. You could get more disciplined about your follow-up. There's usually a lot of opportunity here, right? And each of those could be a project, couldn't it? There were 7 or 8 there. For better margins, we'll talk about pricing. You can put your rates up if that's a realistic thing for you to talk about. I can help you decide if it is. It is if you're undercharging, which is quite common. And by your rates, I mean your charge out rates and the margins you add to materials and subcontractors, okay? So that's your price. But your price for a job comes from them, and you can also look at the allowances you make in your quotes or in your estimates, right? Whether you allow enough time or enough materials covered by your rates and your margins. So that's important, right? You need to make sure you're allowing enough. And in a related topic, you can also look at whether your people are taking as long as they should be, right? Because if you allow 100 hours and they take 200 hours, you're not going to make any money, right? So you need to make sure there's a match between the allowances in your quotes and the allowances on the jobs. You know, it might be that you didn't allow enough. It might be that you need to help your guys work more efficiently and faster. You can review your costs as well, can't you? You can see if there's an expense you can do away with. You can renegotiate with some of your suppliers. You can get rid of some of those apps, perhaps. I know I'm skipping over the top of these project suggestions. It's only a 10-minute video after all, and I can't cover everything or dig into everything. As always, if you want help, you can book a call and talk to me. If you have a specific question, I will try to answer it. Now, if you want more time, you'll need to get more efficient. You need to delegate to someone else or just not do some things. If you're busy and you're trying to do too much and being woefully ineffective, it's a double whammy, right? It's very common, that. So you could delegate, for example, bookkeeping to a bookkeeper. You could hire someone to help with admin or estimating or scheduling, maybe even a virtual assistant, somebody who's in the Philippines and less expensive. You could delegate some tasks like invoicing or payroll to your bookkeeper if you've got one already. You spend less time on the tools and trust your team more, or spend some of that time helping them be more trustworthy, training them and what have you, giving them the right support and systems and instructions so they know what to do better. You could commit yourself to a hard stop, couldn't you? You could say, I'll stop work at 5, or I won't work weekends, or I won't work Sundays. That will give you more time. Sounds a bit scary. Could you do that? Maybe. To get more freedom, you'll have to delegate some responsibilities to someone on your team and work with them to write the system for them to use and train them how to use it and give them a checklist so they don't forget anything, and then support them and help them until you're confident enough to step back, and then hey presto, you're free from the responsibility for that thing, and you can only hold them accountable for their outcomes, for the outcomes. So all of these suggestions could be big jobs. Each of those could be a fairly large project, but you could also take some baby steps, some small steps, a few more calls, a few fewer hours, and get yourself a small win. Small win's still a win. It's progress, isn't it? Now, if you've chosen 2 or 3 projects that will help you hit your goals, you need a plan for each one. The impact filter is going to help you do that. That's the download. The impact filter is a planning framework, okay? So you write the name of the project at the top. You start with the problem. This is the context, right? What problem is this going to solve? What's the impact? What difference will it make solving that problem? And what does done look like, right? How will we know when we've finished it? So these questions are an important part of scoping the project, if you like, for you and for whoever you engage to help you with it. And then the chunks. What are the main chunks of the project? And pretty much every plan really involves chunking down the massive job of getting from where you are now to the desired outcome, the done part. A why, a goal, and then breaking out down the task into some manageable chunks. So, and then you'll go, what are the first 3 steps we need to take? And then you get stuck in and start with those first 3 steps. It's pretty simple, and it's meant to be. I don't want to overcomplicate things here. I hope that's helpful. Off you go, right? I hope you get those goals of yours. Maybe some business coaching would help. And if you want, and you've set your goals, and you've filled out your impact filters, and you want to book a time with me to show them to me, and ask me for some feedback on whether they're useful and good and done right, you can do that as well. Book a call. Just book a chat, tell me what it's about. Bye.